Well, hello there. My name is Los. I will be running the PC section of this Lego Batman 1 version race. John, you gonna introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hey, my name is LaserTrap. I press buttons go fast, usually in handheld games. Today I'm doing the DS Free Play Villain side. There's some new tech, we're very excited, and without further ado, I will hand you over to our commentators.
Yo, what's
Hello.
everyone? You go first.
Perfect timing. I'm Captain Pack, so I'm going to be commentating more on Loz's side of things, as I have a bit more experience with the PC version of the game.
And hi, I'm Shem. I will be commentating the right side of your screen with the DS version of LEGO Batman.
And I think we're about ready to go. So let's go into this. Looks like Loz is ready. Not sure about LaserTrap yet.
That looks pretty good.
Alright. In that case, we'll count it down in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, and it looks like both have started now. Straight away, we're going to see some big tech on Loz's side of things. He's going to be doing what's known as SSJs, or slam soup jumping. And this is basically a tech that's used to gain pretty much infinite height with Batman. And you can use that to basically go anywhere you want. He's then going to clip through this door, and immediately that's 2 rooms down.
Yeah, and on the other side of your screen, you'll be seeing the main strategy used in LEGO Batman to save time on the DS. This is bomb clipping. So if we position a bomb like right in front of a door, if we manage to squeeze our character between the wall and the door, we can just get ourselves pushed through. And this is quite a tricky one, getting through this thick entrance to the vault, but John was able to do it there. And yeah, it's the main way of we'll just be approaching everything in this game, and it will save us minutes, like a good half an hour probably across the whole run.
Yeah, so what you might have seen on Loz's side as well is you would have seen him going through a few walls by clipping, using a technique known as PCC. I think it's called penguin croc clipping. Basically, you're changing from a character with a smaller hitbox to a character with a slightly larger hitbox. And if you do that while having alt-tabbed out the game and then alt-tabbing back in, you gain enough kind of forward movement to be able to go through the wall and clip straight through it. So that's used a lot to be able to get to a lot of the intended door triggers that are hidden behind the door, and also to get out of bounds in places they really did not want you to get out.
Yeah, and on the right side of the screen, we'll be approaching what's called a blue brick machine, where there are 3 blue bricks scattered throughout a room. And what John needs to do, they just need to find them. And it's pretty simple for the most part. Just pick them up and yeah, get to the dropper, and it will pull a lever to allow us to finish the level.
Yep, so Loz is already making his way through level 2. The PC version of this game has 15 levels that we're going to go through in this category. He is not doing them in order. He started in 4-3, is now doing 4-2, and the reason for that is it saves time on the overworld to start in episode 4, and then movement on the level selection map to start with level 3 out of part 4 on the map, so the first set of villain levels, basically.
Yeah, the route in this category is also slightly it isn't the intended way, but what's more importantly is what's going on here. This is jump storage, so this is basically storing the height gained from a jump with a character swap, and the reason they are pausing in between each of these jumps is because this game is quite laggy, and so by getting the pauses in, you're able to just wait through the lag and then do the next character swap to gain the next amount of height. So that is a very, very new piece of tech used to completely just zoom through a lot of these sections. And another weird thing you can do as Batman specifically, by just doing 2 attacks there, you will somehow like clip yourself into the loading zone underneath you, which will save a little bit of time, or quite a lot of time actually, as opposed to just going and pressing buttons. No clue why it works, and if you're playing any other variants of Batman, as in Batman Classic or Bruce Wayne, it doesn't work either, so it's just a weird little quirk about this game.
Games doing things.
Yeah. It's weird because they're like exactly the same model. I have no clue why it works. But it works and it's cool.
Yeah, so Loz was just going for an out of bounds trigger there, unfortunately missed it. See if he can hit it again, not quite. I think this is quite a tough one to be able to hit. It's just outside. You almost think you can stand in the right place, but it's just over this tall invisible wall. And then trying to fly into it. Quite a difficult one to get, but he's able to save himself each time from dying rather than dying. He's able to save himself using what's known as an up warp, which is when you switch characters below the map, so there's no collision below you, but there's collision above you. You're able to warp back up onto that surface. And that is useful to save yourself a lot, and also can save time in some places where you need to maybe go from an out of bounds to an inbound, or get up to some higher ground earlier.
So on the right side of the screen, this is another level that's helped a lot by jump storage. So you can just skip the entire like going around in this room by just gaining a bunch of height from your character swapping between each character. Will this work? Not quite. It was close though, so you want to just go around each of your 7 characters in free play and just keep on jumping and swapping between and pausing to just keep on gaining your height and yeah, get up there and save a bunch of time. But these inputs are there's only a couple frames of leniency between each one, so it can be pretty tricky to get down, especially in a race setting like this. And since they are very, very new, or this method of doing them is very, very new, it can be hard to get them consistently.
Yeah, it doesn't help that these were found today, mostly. On Loz's side of the screen, he's going to go for a new end trigger setup that is not in the current world record. So basically, by positioning Batman there, what he's doing is he's setting up for a super jump. And this super jump is... I don't think that one's worked, but he's going to go for it again. This is a super jump to hit the trigger to skip the boss fight, and what you need to do is set up the super jump in such a way that you jump out of bounds, and can then switch to... So the AI jumps out of bounds, and then you can switch to the Batman in this case, while he's out of bounds, and use that to hit the trigger with, I believe, a simple jump, just to be able to get into the trigger. The hard part is setting up this super jump. So we're going to see it here, he's going for it again. Actually damaging Batman, so he goes slightly into the container. I think the super jump's just happened, and there we go. Very nice bit of tech. That isn't in the current world record, but I'm sure it will be pretty soon, especially if Oz keeps playing this category.
Oh yeah, for sure. A lot of these new jump storages aren't in any of the records either, and unfortunately, LaserTrap forfeiting on that one there, but still gave it a good shot. And even with that already in the last run of the level, it's a pretty damn quick level.
So what is the current world record in the DS version of this category?
It's gonna be really embarrassing that I don't know exactly. I'm pretty sure it's a 26.
Put you on the spot there, don't worry.
Looking up right now on SRC, 2635, but that is going to be brought way, way down very quickly.
Yeah, to put into context how close these two categories are, the current RTA record in the PC version is 26 minutes and 20 seconds. So there's a 15-second difference between the two. Loz has got a quick and loadless time. He got a 26:02 earlier this evening. But RTA still stands at a 26:20. So incredibly close.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy just because they're just such different builds of the game.
Absolutely.
And John's going to be jumping on the security camera here to do a very well-spaced glide to get over this fence and skip an entire room. What the game wants you to do, they want you to go in the sewers and then climb back out again. But by doing a massive glide there, you can just completely skip that. And with a slightly different tech, a slightly harder tech, ladder storage, it's now possible to skip that in story mode where we don't have access to a glider character. So yeah, it looks like they're having a little bit of trouble with the bomb clip there. So in LEGO Batman, so most characters bomb clip like this. Mad Hatter makes it way easier for you. Because he doesn't have to like space it at all, you can just run straight into the door and then position a little bit. And because he's shorter, he'll just be able to clip through, but characters like the SWAT guy have a little more trouble clipping in. And this bank clip is pretty weird as well. Because you can't quite clip through, but if you're able to get yourself in a corner, you can just about push yourself through in some situations. But it looks like Laser's having a little bit of trouble, unfortunately. This clip can just not work for some reason, and it's evil.
The marathon RNG is coming in, unfortunately.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, these bomb clips look very precise on the Laser side of the screen. They don't look easy at all.
Yeah, it's just a case of getting a good positioning with it, and sometimes when that positioning's just slightly off, it can be annoying to have to deal with. Or if the game's lagging or something. Since there's only a couple frames of leniency with it. Since you have to be if you're too far away from the wall, you will just stand there, and if you're too close, the bomb will push you out the other way.
Yeah, Loz, meanwhile, if you haven't noticed, had moved on to episode 5, or well, the second episode of the Villains series. Here, I think he's almost at the halfway point in terms of the amount of levels completed, which at 10 almost 11 minutes in the race is a pretty good pace to be starting out with. He does get the quicker levels out the way first because they tend to be the more techy levels. And I know in the second half of the run there is a couple of vehicle levels in there, and everybody loves a good vehicle level, definitely.
Not the DS runners, we skip them in this category.
Oh,
in DS there's only 12 levels since in this game at least the free play variants offer the vehicle levels offer no free play variants. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a relief. I know, well, the vehicle levels are bad on PC from when I've played them, so...
Yeah, they're not very interesting in this version. There's some cool tech in the villain versions of just like trying to get yourself caught as early as possible, but that's about it. And also, a blue brick machine clip right there. If you are Batman, you can do an uppercut attack into the corner of a blue brick machine if you've got a ceiling above you, and that will allow you to clip in slightly into the machine. And from there, you can navigate OOB to wherever you want to go. So, in this case, just to the next room, basically, rather than having to move the big container out of the way.
And Loz is once again making his way through this level. Actually, animation cancelling there by immediately pulling the strength handle with Killer Croc and then switching characters. You can immediately cancel the animation, which saves 2 or 3 seconds every time. It doesn't sound like that much, but it adds up obviously a lot over the course of a run.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just kind of looks cool as well. But you can see just how broken these clips and things are. So there's going to be another one here. This is quite a tough one from what I remember. He's going to go through the wall here, up warp, and that does not look like a good position. So it's got to be quite a precise up warp to be able to get just behind this gate on the standable collision, or just jump straight to it. That's probably the easier way of doing it. That was made to look easy second time round. And of course, a big part of this, I'm not sure how big a part of it is in the DS, but in the PC version it definitely is. The massive part of it is character management. Basically, before every level, Loz wants to make sure that Killer Croc is in his party, because he needs that to be able to clip through the walls through PCCs. However, there are also certain characters which he wants, and certain character combinations which are ideal. So I think, obviously, stuff like having Penguin in a good position for when you need to blow up anything by using the Penguin minions. I think also a couple of times Penguin Minion is selected because you can go through smaller spaces with it and then have control of a full character beyond that. So there's a few things with character management that really need to be made sure of, and of course knowing where each character is in your party in terms of how many switches it takes is crucial for making sure that you keep track of what you need where and how many switches you need for each thing.
Yeah, the DS version skips that little bit entirely by just being able to touch the touchscreen and choose anyone you want, provided they're in your free play rotation, but for most levels we want to pick the Mad Hatter since he gives pretty easy clips, but in certain ones like this, we want the Penguin. You might have seen the clip earlier, where we just clip through the ceiling. That is, yeah, it's possible to do with the other characters, but easiest with the Penguin. Another important factor is Batman. If you want to choose him for any specific levels that involve using his uppercut to clip through things, he's obviously very important there. But yeah, most of the time we either want to go on a rotation of the Penguin, the Mad Hatter, or Batman in this game, and it doesn't really matter who most of your secondary characters are.
I think Loz managed to unload some stuff there. I'm not entirely sure what happened on that one, but that might be a new trick, but it just seemed like he unloaded the door and was able to pretty much jump straight into the out-of-bounds trigger like nothing happened. I guess quite a cool thing to have.
Yeah, always cool when your commentators don't even know what's going on. Just going that fast.
Yeah. Well, I do know what's going on now on Loz's side. It is my definitely favorite level on the, at least on the hero side of things. This level runs parallel to the Batboat level, which I absolutely dislike as a level, but it's a lot easier in free play, especially when you have the invincibility extra and also the infinite torpedoes extra. So it's much easier to be able to break all of these gates, and these kind of swamp areas should hurt Robin, but they don't because Robin has invincibility and they didn't program in any knockback for it, which is very nice. Loz is also timing some hits through the wall here to be able to take out some of these ships in the slightly next stage earlier, and also timing the torpedo hits as well, so he can pretty much go through this gate as early as possible and go into the boss fight. The boss fight is pretty standard. You've just got to fire torpedoes at the boat that comes up. But for the last hit there is a little bit of a trick. The torpedo is scripted as to which one it is. It's meant to fire from just behind the enemy boat and target you. But for some reason, if you go in front, or just in general, submerge in the submarine, then it instantly hits the boat, and that makes that section a lot easier, and you skip that last hit pretty much.
Yeah, and on the right side, on the DS side, we get to see quite a lot of the free play tech. Picking Mad Hatter, since this level has 3 bomb clips back to back to back, and by having Mad Hatter it just makes it easiest and therefore fastest for us to do, and then a slightly new addition, using those jump storages to just get to the higher platform ever so slightly earlier, just to save that little bit of extra time.
And would you believe it, the PC version only has 5 levels left already.
Ooh, only 5 in the DS version as well.
It's amazing how quick both these categories are now. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. And also something I have not mentioned for this version, grapple clipping. So by standing next to a grapple link, you can just if you position yourself correctly and then space a double jump correctly, you are able to just be able to clip up there without having to use the grapple pad or anything. By just jumping up twice and then going in the direction of the grapple, provided you are facing away from it, you can clip through, and it's used a lot throughout the run just to save time. Also is okay, no. So there was a new skip in this room to just completely neglect everything, but it doesn't look like LaserTrap's going to be doing that today. That's okay, because yeah, it was found last night, I believe, so That's completely fine. This is one of the longest rooms. You just need to go around pulling different levers in order to open the grate that's in the middle of the room there. And yeah, just involves some good old-fashioned moving and doing all the casual stuff quickly, which is quite rare in a run like this, to be honest.
Yeah, I do get the feeling if we did this run maybe say a week later, do a rematch. Maybe we should make a petition for a rematch a week later with LaserTrap having enough time and Loz having enough time to learn and practice all the new stuff that's happened quite recently.
Yeah, I'd be down for having LEGOthon go on an extra week just for that.
Yeah. I think that's a petition to extend it if I haven't heard anything else.
Yeah, mods, come on.
Yeah.
You know you want to.
But also, one thing to mention on Loz's side of things, he's obviously using the glide suit a lot, and there's a tech that comes with the glide suit known as e-gliding, or extended gliding, which is a specific mashing rhythm to be able to basically lose as little height as possible on your glides, and that allows you to get more distance. They're used so much in the story versions of especially Hero Story. It's used an awful lot. Not so much in free play, because it actually loses a bit of time. So each time you do an e-glide, you actually lose, I think, about 2 frames because of the speed difference. So it's sometimes better to do an extra SSJ to get more height, and then glide from there, than it is to do the e-glide. So it's not used very often, but it's a very tiny piece of tech that's used a few places across here. Also, yes, Loz is in the position of the trailer of a lorry at the moment. Just the trailer, not the actual front compartment at all, and just driving it into the other ones in order to finish the section. They did not test, I think, if you could... I think they just treated the trailer as a separate vehicle, and you can then use that to be able to destroy everything else that you need to in that level, which is very useful.
That's pretty chill. So on the right side, John doing a pretty precise jump to get from below the little boxes or barrels above by very, very precisely getting around. So it's very easy to be too early there and just bonk your head on the top, and very easy to be too late and just run off instead. So yeah, very nice work there from John, getting it first try, and then gliding across this big gap, getting into another blue brick machine clip with classic Batman, and just being able to clip into the ceiling there and move on with the level. And they will also do... Okay, this is a different strat to what I remember.
Ooh, wow.
But yeah, you can uppercut clip through there as well. I completely forgot that was a thing. I'm a boomer when it comes to free play villain, so I forgot the I was thinking of the old strat of instead climbing up on a pipe and just jumping over that way, which in my opinion is way cooler. But hey, it's also slower.
I think the uppercut clip was pretty cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
Loz, meanwhile, is going for the end trigger in, I believe this is 6-5, and hits it there finally. That end trigger confused me the first time I saw it, because when that is done in the hero section in 3-5, the trigger is actually in a very different location. It's much more kind of at the back and central of that room, rather than just right by that specific wall. But even though it's a copy and paste of the room that's used, for some reason they put a completely different position for the end trigger. But that was it took Loz a few attempts to get that, but he got it in the end, which is all that matters really. And I believe that's 2 levels left on Loz's side.
Yeah, there's gonna be 3 more after this one is complete for the DS version. 2 of the the next one is I believe it's the only normal level, non-vehicle level in this game that is sub 1 minute at the moment.
Oh wow.
So it's a really, really fast level. Another one where we pick the Hatter and we can just bomb clip everywhere. All the challenges are just related to opening doors to get to the next loading zone, and we can kind of just get through that. I guess except for this, where we just have to push a few blocks, and then the floor will go underneath, and then there's the door.
And I believe Loz, meanwhile, is going into the final level. Thankfully, for your side of things, the final level is a bit longer. It's a vehicle level.
Oh god.
Yeah, it is Biplane Blast, where I believe you're normally meant to be in control of the Scarecrow's helicopter or something. But of course, being free play, you can be whatever vehicle you want. I believe the fastest airborne vehicle is Man-Bat's Glider, which we might see Loz use. There's definitely a clip you can do with that, but I think Loz was saying when he was explaining it to me yesterday, that is the very last thing that will be implemented into this category because of how not good it is. But depends how he's feeling. He might want to show it off in this setting.
Yeah, keep it close, keep it exciting. That's what speedrunning's all about the drama. So a few well-spaced glides to progress with this first bit of the story, and then just blow this thing up with Mad Hatter. This is probably the most important level to be Hatter in, since the specific clips in here, in the art gallery, only Mad Hatter can do. I believe it's unique in that regard. But another unique clip is just chilling through the floor. Or through the ceiling here, if they can get through. Ooh. Okay, going for the pause buffer strats and go on. But yeah, there's just a very, very slight gap in the floor, which you can clip through there like that. So by using Hatter here, we can clip into here by just placing a bomb there, and then we are in range of the lever, which we can grab. And then we need to also clip out, so using the Mad Hatter again there is the only way we can clip out there, which is why he's so important here. I feel like I've seen runs before die to accidentally choosing another character. But that door at the end of the room is actually impossible to clip through as far as we know. So we just have to do the little challenge in this room, but we can speed it up greatly. And then in this room we've got 2 more clips to do, one of which we're gonna have to do blind. Which sounds simple enough, given it's fairly simple with Mad Hatter. However, the way the room faces you at this point in the camera is basically at a diagonal, so you have to find a very specific position to where it doesn't basically have you on an angle, which can be very infuriating sometimes.
Right, well, I've just got to cut you off here because Loz is on the final hits on the helicopter to finish this run off. Literally just finishing this off here, and the helicopter explodes there, and then very soon, that is time for Loz's side. 27:09, I think.
Yeah, that is very clean.
Yeah.
And LaserTrap still giving a good performance, still keeping it close, just one more level to go. Definitely will be underestimate here.
Absolutely.
So this is the final level, Gotham Cathedral in this game. And yeah, we have to start off by doing a few regular tasks, but I think we are now going into some funny jump storage things. Yup. So by storing a bunch of jumps, and then you can jump across this gap, and then just keep on buffering and swapping your characters to get through the lag, and you get up onto the ledge there, and then you can jump on this block, jump up to the...
I'm gonna...
Oh.
Because something really funky just happened. So that's a completely new jump storage trick, and because the AI didn't know where I was getting a lot of lag from them character swapping, so that was a strat that I found like in the waiting room, just so you all know. Anyway, go ahead, because I'm gonna be, I think, a bit ahead of you if I try to commentate it.
Yeah, so using the push block to just get the extra height needed to get up to there, and then just clipping through this door. So in the next room is one of the other impossible clips. So we just do what we need, and wait, Okay, okay. I thought they were going to cut through for a second there. I was going to look like a massive
No.
fool.
I don't remember if it's actually impossible. But one of the things about this game is that enemies will actually put up a fight. So the extras in free play make that a lot nicer since we can just turn on one shot, which makes it so that they die in one punch.
Yeah, that's very convenient, but also takes out a pretty interesting element from the story speedruns, but yeah, it's chill. Which we can see there with the power of one shot just getting through. These goons. A little more
So
like a
because I
level
am not
push.
coming in as far underestimated as I would like, I'm gonna, I guess, give an outro and like a review of what happened. Obviously, Ice Cream Factory did not go as planned. New stuff, not entirely sure what went wrong because it looked like the same characters every time were not giving me height boost I needed from them. So maybe your party really does matter. That could be quite annoying, but we don't know. Come back in a week, do the race again. Maybe I'll win and not lose by 3 minutes.
It's not the ideal
But there
place
is
to
one
test
more.
it on LEGOthon, but
I know, right? There is one more little jump storage in this last room, which doesn't need to be buffered because I only need to get it on one character. And from there, I'll just be ending the level.
I just
Shem,
need
you
to pull
call
these
time on your
levers.
screen.
On my screen, okay. Alright, now one final cutscene, and after that's done, it will be time. And time. So that looked like a 30-37, so
GG.
yeah, not
Yeah,
an
I mean,
awful showing given basically
with DS timings, yeah, I don't. There's other things that shouldn't have gone wrong, like some of the clips. Bank clip, looking at you. Second try agony was nice. Other first try jump storages were nice. I hope you enjoyed the race.
yeah, and if you
Yeah.
want to see more Batman DS, show up to LEGOthon tomorrow. I'll be doing any percent.
And yeah, quickly before we sign off as well, Loz did manage to get a new loadless world record in that as well.
Let's
Getting
go.
the first 25 with a 25:18. So big GG's to you there, Loz.
Thank you, thank you.
First 25 with a 25-18. That's kind of insane.
It's pretty good, yeah. And I think with that said, we are about done. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. And yeah, hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Yeah, thank you very much.